From the King George's Estates outside of downtown Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Good Monday evening, everybody, and welcome back to KCN60 right here on Shovio.com. Kevin Knessa here with you for the next hour. To all of our regulars, I welcome you back to the program, and to anybody here for the first time, I welcome you to the program as well. And I wish a very Merry Christmas, of course, to my good buddy Timmy Gillette, who I haven't seen in a long time. Jesus, the last time I saw you, Timmy, probably was the night we went to see the New Jersey Devils play the Nashville Predators, and it was the very first time Ilya Kovalchuk scored a goal for the Devils. Remember that ridiculousness? We wound up paying $79 for tickets because it was cap night, and somehow the game sold out. I'm gonna say Shovio forever. So I mean, it's never ever gonna be able to get out of my mind. I realized I said it Friday night when I did the show. I didn't even realize it. It's just a force of habit of saying it. So I apologize if I do, but maybe it'll go away. So now, Christmas is such an interesting time of year. For some people, it's a very, very joyful time. For others, it can be very, very depressing because of loneliness or just simply not having a place to go or things of that nature. And I thought about Christmas too. I was listening to a couple of programs on the air about how some people actually like being by themselves on Christmas. I don't know. I was by myself yesterday. On Christmas Eve, I went to my relative's house up in Middletown, New Jersey. It was 85 miles each direction. Did a lot of traveling just to be there for a couple of hours. And it wasn't the greatest experience. I was glad I got to see my mother and her boyfriend and my stepbrother and a whole bunch of other people too, but it wasn't exactly the prettiest of experiences. So I don't know. As I get older and as I get wiser, I suppose, Christmas has less and less of a meaning. I don't know what to think of it anymore, but it is what it is. But I do hope that no matter where it was that you spent the holidays, whether it's Christmas you celebrate or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate, Christmaka, etc., that it was a time of peace and joy for you and for your families, because God only knows. It's just, to me, as Timmy just said it, Christmas won't be the same until I have kids. I kind of feel that way, too. I just don't have any real desire to celebrate it anymore. It's lost its meaning. When you have to turn on the TV and see people lecturing you on what you should and shouldn't buy for Christmas and what's hot and what's not, I don't know. It takes away the whole meaning of it. It's just not a Christian holiday the way it used to be. There's no celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. So that's a discussion for another day and another animal. Now, there's a whole bunch of stories that I want to get to later on in the program at about 7:40. Jimmy Graham's going to join me. I don't think his camera's working, but his audio is working. The two of us liked a talk show host who was on WABC for many, many years, and she wound up going to Sirius XM by the name of Lynn Samuels. Lynn died on Christmas, and she was only 69 years old. And what's interesting about Lynn is that Lynn and I had very similar political views. She's a very, very liberal woman. And yet, Jimmy liked her more than I did, and their political views didn't exactly match. So he's going to join us, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about that. And I just want to remember Lynn in a special way. And before I get to Jimmy later on, very interestingly, I found a series of prank calls from Kid Chris to Lynn Samuels, and she never took to prank calls. She never realized half the time she was being pranked. She would just kind of go along with it. And she is the type of, she's an interesting woman too, because she had a thick Brooklyn accent. Never hid it, never tried to talk like she was from the Midwest, like many, many talk show hosts do. She's never ashamed of the fact that she was a New Yorker. She always talked that way. She thought that way, and she's a brilliant mind that is now gone. So we do, in fact, we'll talk about her a little bit later on in the program. That's about 7:40 today. Now, there are tragedies that happen in this world quite often, and they often go unnoticed because they become so commonplace, whether it's murders or people who die in fires or things of that nature. But what is really difficult, I think, to fathom is when a tragedy strikes during the holiday season. And two awful tragedies happened yesterday on Christmas Day. One was in Connecticut, and the other was in Texas. If you haven't heard about this, the fire took place in Stamford, Connecticut, and a family of 5 were obliterated by this fire. Take a look at this story.
The crackle of early morning flames shattered the Christmas calm in one of Stamford's quietest neighborhoods.
A horrible tragedy. It's Christmas Day. There probably has not been a worse Christmas Day in the city of Stamford.
And here are the devastating consequences of the worst fire around here in decades. 3 little girls are dead. According to initial reports, so are their grandparents. The only survivors, their parents.
My heart is just broken for those children. I mean, and the whole family. It's a tragedy, horrific.
The enormous fire engulfed the 3-story Victorian mansion on the Long Island Sound. Neighbors said the family had been renovating the house, but firefighters didn't believe the construction was a cause. But whatever sparked it, the result is a sadness that has darkened the holiday for neighbors, friends, and of course, this devastated family.
It's never easy, that's for sure. I've been on this job 38 years. Not an easy day.
Always difficult when a tragedy of that nature happens, but when it happens during the holidays, it just makes it so much more difficult. And to see a family just wiped out like that is just absolutely remarkable. And in Texas, even more bizarre, because of the fact that there was a perpetrator involved in this one, a family of 7 killed on Christmas Day by a member of their family, who was, by the way, even more absurd, dressed in a Santa costume. Take a look at this story.
Authorities are searching for the motive behind a Christmas Day tragedy in Texas. 4 women and 3 men were found shot to death in their home, apparently after opening their Christmas gifts. Reporter Ben Russell of our NBC affiliate KXAS-TV joins us live now from the scene in Fort Worth suburb of Grapevine, Texas. And Ben, here, any idea in terms of motive? I know it's early.
It's still early in this investigation, obviously, though this did play out some almost 24 hours ago. No, there is no known motive, at least as one that police are telling us about. There is also no outward sign of the horrible tragedy that unplayed right through this sliding glass and door frame here of this apartment complex in Grapevine. Again, you described as a suburb of Fort Worth and Dallas here in greater North Texas. Here is what we do know at this point. No one heard any of the gunshots that were fired inside of this home. Someone from inside of the home called 911 around 11:30 yesterday morning, but that person did not speak into the phone. An operator then sent police, Grapevine, Texas police, here to this scene to go in and investigate, and they found the scene that we've been talking about now. We also have information that the suspected shooter in this case, a middle-aged man, may have been dressed as Santa Claus, though Grapevine police have not confirmed that information for us at this point this morning. The 7 victims are all reportedly related. Again, 4 women and 3 men between the ages of 15 and 58 years old. They were all found inside of this apartment, though we're told not all of them lived here at this apartment. Their bodies were found in what was otherwise the evidence of a normal Christmas morning. There were Christmas presents that had been unwrapped, and there was paper strewn about the room. Police did also find 2 handguns on the floor of the apartment in the living room, again, which is just behind this apartment behind me here. Again, the big question obviously is the motive in this case. Perhaps it may never be known. We do expect to learn more information from Grapevine police later this morning, but obviously, no doubt, a very sad situation in this town on Christmas morning, which calls itself the Christmas capital of Texas. Richard.
Ben, this is horrific. What have the neighbors said? What is that small part of the town you're talking about like, and what do we know about the gunman? Was he among the dead there?
He had been found among the dead. That is what Grapevine police told us yesterday evening. He is believed to be the suspected shooter. He may have killed the other 6 and then turned a gun on himself. As far as what neighbors are saying, I mean, I can show you a bit here, Richard. This is a sort of tight-knit, very packed-together apartment complex. We have spoken to several neighbors who are waking up this day after Christmas morning. They're all asking us what happened. They're speaking about a tragedy, something like this they would not otherwise expect. On the other side of this apartment complex, there is a brown fence fence, and beyond that is a high school here, Colleyville Heritage High School, which is noted to be one of the best high schools in the entire North Texas region. People move here because this is a safe community, and they're saying obviously they have to question that given what happened yesterday.
All right. KXAS reporter Ben Russell with the very latest on that. We'll continue to follow that for you. Thank you, Ben.
Just a horrifying Christmas for two communities, one in Connecticut, one in Texas. You wonder, too, how much of these types of stories would even make it in the news were it not for the fact that it was Christmas, but indeed tragedy nonetheless. It's 14 minutes past the hour. The other day, I began to show a video that got cut off because of time, and I promised I would replay it. No better time to do it than in this first segment to kind of lighten up the mood after two tragic stories. We go back to 2010, Casey and 60 on the old network.
Oh my God, help me. I had to hit
I'm guessing this is me.
I had to hit the mute button. I was just coughing so badly. Oh my goodness, Mattress Man.
Yes, I'm calling to protest the anti-hate speech against the puppet American community.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Now, Mister, what kind of animal is that, by the way?
This is a little souvenir from my days at Sleepy's. This is a Serta sheep that was given to all of us.
Oh God, you call it Serta? I mean, what the hell? That's ridiculous.
Serta, you never saw the commercials with the counting sheep?
I don't remember that. No, I depend not to pay attention to any advertising, especially Sleepy's.
Well, I'd like to avoid their commercials myself sometimes, but unfortunately, they're everywhere.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And you're not going. How about this,
coming
Mattress?
up on my 3rd anniversary of the departure from that organization.
Oh no, it's 3 years, huh? And how about this, bro? Every time I go to Starbucks, I have to see one because it's right next to the Starbucks.
Well, they have quite a few locations. What can you say?
Yeah, and not only that, there's another one less than a mile away, which is even more irritating. It's like everywhere you go, there's a fucking Sleepy's. It's just close your doors, for crying out loud, go bankrupt, and don't get bailed out. I can't stand that company.
Some unpleasant experiences with them, I'm guessing?
No, just because of you. I just don't like them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good, too.
Yep, and if I ever have to buy a bed, I'm going somewhere other than Sleepy's, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. I could say many nasty things about them, but I won't. But I can also say a lot of good things about them. It was an interesting time. What can I tell you?
You know, we can't.
There's a lot more good memories there than bad ones.
You do realize we can't see you right now, right? You are aware of this?
Well, that's because I was making adjustments for my little friend here.
Oh, okay. Now.
How's that?
That's better. Much better. Am I actually seeing you not wearing a hat right now, too?
Yes, I'm letting my head out of the closet because I understand there's a position at Shovio available for balding Irish guys that like to drink beer.
Leslie, if you're watching, he's right here.
I understand they recently lost a white guy with a belly and no hair, and I thought I would audition.
Oh my God! Oh, that's too much. It's been 2 days, and every day it's like I still expect to hear his voice at some point, you know. And
that makes two of us.
Right?
I don't want to beat a dead horse, though.
No, I mean I think today's going to be the last day, but it's got to be said one last time. I mean I can't, like, when the show starts and she says, and I see, now here's the thing, you know that I don't watch the show as much as you do, but I do watch it almost.
Nobody watches it as much as I do.
No, of course. You've seen every minute of every show since Shovio began. I didn't realize it, but
before that as well.
Of course, I mean, but the part where she would say hello to Butch, you know, like, I didn't realize that was actually something that kind of, like, you just get so used to it, and now that you don't hear it, it's like she forgot to say that, you know, like, what is she?
I miss him terribly. I wish him nothing but the best. Chuck Nice has always been a part of the show, and I'm sure Chuck can bring it, and it'll be okay.
Yes, indeed. Now, we have a Shovio break coming up. Can you hang out for a second? Because I want to ask you a couple of questions. All right,
sure.
Good. Yes, and of course, in the chat room, Sean from the Cave said it's nice to finally see you. So I guess he never saw your shoves to the Chick show, but that was.
I don't shove often enough. I feel properly guilty about that.
That's okay, but I'm lucky because you shove in here all the time. So we'll take this quick break. When we come back, more from Mattress Man, KC and 60.
Go ahead.
42 past the hour. Canessa here with you on KC and 60 with Mattress Man. Did you get a chance to see any of the game today, by the way, Jim?
Today, no. I've been kind of busy cleaning my apartment for what's going to happen in the near future.
Okay, all right.
And I kind of leave Shovio on in the background, and my TV is not actually hooked up at the moment. I've just got my DVD player running through it.
Okay, all right. Some incredible stuff though from this game today. I'm telling you, this kid from their goaltender was just unbelievable. He is absolutely played on his head. It was just unreal. So.
Well, I'm sure I'll find the highlights on your Facebook page.
Oh yes, the highlights will definitely get up there.
So there it was, a look back to the day after all the puppets made their way onto KC in 60. 2 years ago almost already. 19 minutes past the hour. Canessa here with you on KC and 60 on DARPATV.com. We will take the first of two breaks. When we come back, lots more to get to. You're watching KC and 60. Don't go away.
If a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much love could a love bug bug if a love bug could bug love? Timber, 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 whoa, timber. Oh, woodchuck can't chuck wood, and a love bug can't bug love. But a guy like me and a girl like you could really fall in love.
They are certainly going all out with the commercials here on DARPA TV. RJJ and Bertika. It is 21 minutes past the hour. Canessa back with you here on KC and 60, right here on DARPATV.com, formerly known as Shovio.com. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas yesterday and enjoyed your Boxing Day today. You know, Boxing Day is not something that we celebrate here in the United States, and I was curious as to what the whole concept was behind Boxing Day. And most of Boxing Day is celebrated by countries that are territories and commonwealths of Great Britain. And apparently many, many years ago, the way it started out was that people who were very, very wealthy and well-to-do, on the day after Christmas, which became known as Boxing Day, would give boxed gifts or boxed cash to their servants and to the people who worked for them, as a way to thank them for their faithful service. So I always had wondered what it was all about. I never took the time to look it up, but I did that just today, and that's where Boxing Day gets its name. We don't celebrate it here, but in most of those countries, including the United Kingdom, Canada, and some of the other commonwealths of the United Kingdom, it is a bank holiday, which means that it is a day that people are given off. If it doesn't fall on a weekday, if it falls on a weekend, they get a day afterwards. So if the 26th were to be on a Saturday and the 25th were to be on, let's say the 26th were on a Sunday and the 25th were on a Saturday, they'd get off Monday and Tuesday for Christmas holiday and for Boxing Day. So it's one of those that we don't have in the United States, but it would be certainly nice if we did. Now, a whole bunch of things been going on, of course, in the last couple of days, including the switch over from Shovio.com to DARPATV.com 1 week ago today. And as the year comes to a close, I always get very, very sentimental, and I like to reminisce periodically about things that have gone on over time on our networks, which was at one point, of course, known as Shovio, now is what it is now. And I went into the archives, and I found a moment that I had completely forgotten about. This one comes from the Radio Chick show, and it was a moment to not be remembered. Take a look at this.
Oh my God! get in.
Oh, we got to squeeze him in.
Yeah.
Things have prompted this call. The first thing is that I actually, before my call got finished being screened, you took the first male caller. I was calling like, I got to get a guy in here.
Oh, that's cool.
Especially because of the landmark broadcast last week in which there was some topless female nudity. And
yeah, there was.
Billy from Hall and Sex Camel have been calling for it for weeks. So with your permission, I'd like to be the first naked man on Showio.
Yes.
No!
You have my...
No! No, he does not.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I thought he was going to show his ass. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I'm not sure that Butchie Brennan was ever more mortified or traumatized by that moment when it happened a couple of years ago, but I was going to the archives and I found that, and just his oh my God, he really broke into his days of being a member of New England's royalty. Now, without any further ado, we are going to go all the way down south to Port St. Lucie, where Joel McGurk is attempting to shove in with a mobile phone. Let's go to Joel, see if it works. Hello, Mouthy. Port St. Lucie, where Joel McGurk is attempting to shove in with a mobile phone.
Yo, Canessa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you lightly.
I don't know if it's working. Can you hear me? Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
No. No.
Joel, call back. I could hear you fine. Try it again. I could see him and I could hear him. How about you guys out there? Could you see him and hear him? Let's give it a shot again. Only thing is we need earphones because I'm going to have a lot of feedback. Hello, Mouthy.
All right, am I good?
Hello, Mouthy.
What up, Kev? How you doing?
I'm fine. I can hear myself reverberating back, though.
I know, it's a little bit of a delay. I see you talking, but it was a little bit of a delay.
Do you have headphones? You have headphones?
Yeah, hold on, I'll get them.
All right, let's see what happens here.
All right, I got my headphones in.
Okay, maybe this will be a little bit better. So can you hear me now or what?
All right, I can hear you now.
All right, so now you're using a mobile phone right now.
Perfect now. Yeah, I'm using my cell phone. Hey, I want to show you something then. Then you could see this. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that's my Christmas tree, right?
Look at this.
You're seeing that? Everyone sees the Christmas tree. Yeah, so Kev, here, I'm going to show you something. I showed Jim Graham and I showed my viewers the other day. Here, man, you didn't get to check this out. Here's my room, Kev. Check this out, man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this is my sports room.
Wow.
I got all this memorabilia. Here, check this out. I got this shit. Hey, and then I'm going to show you one more thing, all right? I wanted to show you. I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Well, I want to see the dog.
Hold on a second. I just got a grip. Oh, you want to see the dog? Mickey! He'll come out in a minute. I'm going to go outside. I'll show you my cats.
Okay.
Here's a cat. Somewhere on the couch. There's
Hello,
another
pussy.
cat. The dog is in the bedroom sleeping. But here, I got to show you this, man. I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. It's a little dark, I'm sure, now, but here.
That's okay.
Check this out. It's raining outside, actually. It's actually raining here.
Oh, my God.
You should be able to see this here. This is my house.
Wow.
This is my little Christmas decoration.
Really nice.
I got it all up on the roof and stuff.
Damn, you put a shitload of lights up.
Yeah, this is my house. Yeah, hey, you want to see my... I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the darkness, but here, this is my Mets Santa flag. I don't know if you could see it very well.
It's a little dark, but you can make it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's my #1 Santa flag. My dog's going to be going... Here he is.
What's the temperature
Show
there?
everyone. Come on, you want to come on TV? It's 79 degrees. Here he is. Wow. Here, sit down. Sit. There's the dog. Give me your paw. Give me the paw. Yeah. Lick the screen. Come here. Come here. Give me kisses.
Just as he leans down to the dog, he freezes up.
He's got a Mets collar on.
But now he's back.
Yeah. Oh, that's me. the middle. But this is my house, bro.
Look at this. We just got a tour of the house.
Yeah, this is. Oh, it froze up. This is my outside. Yeah, this is my outside of my house. It's a little dark, but it's my whole backyard.
It's weird to hear crickets
Got, like,
in
a whole
December.
table. Ant killer. This is the ant killer. You gotta have the ant killer. Yeah, I know you hear crickets. Here's the crazy cat that we always see. Yeah, he just meowed. I don't know if you could hear that.
Yes, I did.
But yeah,
Looks
this
like
is my
Jimmy's
house.
cat.
I'm watching basketball.
What?
There it is. It's probably a little. Here, hold on here. Yeah, I'm watching basketball. That's my big TV.
Man. Now, let me ask you this.
So,
Can I ask you
now
a question,
flip it back
Joel?
to me. Now, yeah, go ahead.
How were
yeah,
things?
sure, ask away.
How was Mrs. Mouth doing that the Giants annihilated the Jets 2 days ago?
Oh, she's a little upset about it, but there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, if you looked at it the way it had it played out, man, the Jets they didn't want it. It just seemed like they didn't want to play, and they just couldn't get it going near the end, and the Giants Eli actually stepped it up. It was surprising.
Man. I'm sorry to bring it up, but, as a Giants fan, I sort of have to, and it's pretty exciting.
No, I don't care. Yeah, you have to be excited as a Giants fan. Now, see, it's hard to get this camera in the right position, but whatever. Because you control your own destiny. You win against the Cowboys, you're in, and then the Jets have to hope for the Bengals to lose, which is a good possibility. But, the Titans are right there, too, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I got to be honest with you. The audio coming from your mobile phone is better than I've ever heard audio on Shovio, ever. It's so clear. It's ridiculous.
And this is actually, like, real good connection, besides the fact that my camera is in a weird spot, because I got a Sony PlayStation phone, so the camera's a little bit off. There it goes. That's a little bit better. I see where it is now.
Yeah.
But I just I gave a tour of the house. I did they let you do a 15-minute broadcast mobily, so we got to try it out. It was really, really cool. I walked down the block, like it was like 5:30 at night. It was still light here.
Yeah.
And people were going crazy, like, oh my God, it's still light. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's still light out here in Florida.
Yeah, because when it gets to like 4:40 here, you're used to it being pitch dark at this point of the year. So just to see that, I guess, is it's striking almost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Joel, tell us what you got
is
coming
what
up
it is.
tonight on the fan forum.
Yeah, what's up? Yo, tonight's a lot of NBA stuff. I know you're not a big basketball fan, but we'll get some hockey in too. I'll talk some Panthers with you if you have time to come on. We'll talk some hockey.
Absolutely.
But basketball heavy. I mean, I know you're not a basketball fan, but Kev, you gotta have to be impressed with what the Knicks did.
Oof.
I mean, the Heat were tremendous. They had a lot of stuff going on in the NBA that true fans who really miss the NBA can actually say that this league is about star power. Now, Kev, let me give a prelim to this. Now, I'm sure you knew about the NBA when there was Michael Jordan, Larry Bird,
Sure.
Magic Johnson, and guys of that nature, a young Shaquille O'Neal, but the game transcended and became a thug association. And no racism statement here, but I used to call it the National Black Association because of the way it was run. But, as bad as David Stern looked during this lockout and got booed and everything, he turned this league around. No more young kids coming in from high school. The kids in there now are developing. You look at this kid, for example, the guy on my own team, the Heat, Norris Cole, spent 4 years in college, got his degree. So you're getting smarter guys coming out. I know the guy from Duke was a rookie, but the way that they're changing the league a little bit, it's drawing interest from 30-something guys like me who enjoyed Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and guys like that who are bringing back certain styles of play.
Let me tell you, as much as I make fun of the league, what was I doing yesterday but watching the Knicks? I mean, I couldn't help but watch the Knicks. And what surprised me was that at one point the Knicks had a pretty solid lead on the Celtics, and then I actually fell asleep during the game and realized that Boston had closed the gap. It was really kind of reminded me of like 1989 basketball again, where it actually mattered and you actually cared about it. So I got to be honest with you, you're 100% correct, and I may watch some more games. Who knows? And I wasn't bored by it at all yesterday.
And and that's what I'm saying, Kevin. A lot of people won't admit to that true reality, and that's how I have to speak it, because a lot of people are opinion biased, and they go homer, and they'll say, the NBA is not what it used to be. I know it's not. I understand that. I'm not comparing these guys to Jordan. They're new guys. They're new kind of guys, and you look at it that way, and you look just athletically what these guys do It's just a lot of fun to watch now. It's not the same as Jordan and Bird and all that, but it's a new style of play. It's not in your and sometimes I do like the in-your-face stuff, like the throwing the punches every once in a while, or not like, you know, the badasses like Bill Laimbeer. And, you know, Kev, you remember when, you know, Reggie Miller used to put this, you know, this chokehold around his neck, people were talking trash. I mean, the greatest trash talker in the world was Michael Jordan. So if you can combine that and keep the attitude good and these guys looking good, you know, the NBA, I know they had that lockout. I know a lot of people are pissed off, and they have every right to be, but you have to admit, man, they're giving a good product right now, even though, you know, and you know what? 66 games in 124 days.
That's cool. I like that. I like the fact that there are going to be nights where there are 3 consecutive nights that a team will play a couple of times each year. And you know what? You know, here's where I lost all control and faith over the NBA. It was that fight back a couple of years ago in Detroit when they went in the stands. Remember that whole fiasco? Yeah. That was what turned me off to the NBA.
With the beer and this.
Right. I kept trying to remember who the big name was in that fight. I want to say Lamar Odom, but I don't think it was Lamar Odom. Who was it?
No, it was like one of the Pistons guys, and I can't remember his name. It wasn't Rip Hamilton. It wasn't
Ron Artest.
Was it Ron
Artest? That's who it was.
It
exactly.
Was Ron Artest.
Thank you, Jersey Rob. You know that was the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Meta World Peace. Meta World Peace, Kev. We got improper. Meta World Peace.
Okay. Well, that was what really. That's when I turned off the NBA for good. And if things continue the way they did yesterday, this is going to be an exciting season. It was the same thing when the NHL played a 48-game schedule back in 1995. It was so intense with so many games and so many nights. Every game actually mattered at that point in time. That's why 66-game schedule is better than an 82-game schedule. It'll never happen in reality, but I think it's going to make every single game
you know
fun.
And you know what? Exactly. It's only 15 games less, and the league pass is going for an extra week, so you get to watch all these games for free. Like I'm watching the Nets and the Wizards right now with the old school uniforms going back to the Bullet uniforms. So, I mean, you really look at it and what the NBA is trying to do, man. They still got the great stars. The games, all 5 games last night were worth watching. You know, from the start, you had the Knicks and the Celtics down to the end. Carmelo, first you thought Rondo is the quarter. Then the Heat blow out the Mavs. You know, and then you go over to Kobe getting stuffed at the end. You get Durant showing why he could be the MVP. And the Lob City getting off to a great start, 115 points. So if you look at how the NBA came out, you know, and Kev, remember this, we'll throw it back to baseball. And when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa came back, whether it be steroids or they brought the game back, it takes star power.
Yes.
The NBA is a star power driven league, and they got some great star power right now.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm also, among others, going to root for the Knicks this year. I've been a Nets fan for many, many years.
Yeah.
But I completely renounced my Nets fandom because I can't stand the owner. I think he's one of the biggest weasels on the planet. I don't think he actually thinks that people who live in New Jersey are going to go out to Brooklyn to watch that team. I want that team to suffer and fail more miserably than they have here. And I'm a Knicks fan again.
It's tough, Kev. That's tough though, because look at this, man. And we'll go back. You know, you being you know all this stuff about New York as well as I do. No professional team since the Brooklyn Dodgers left. You know how they can be. They're their own. You know, Brooklyn is its own entity, and I think they're going to adopt this team really hardcore. I'm not saying they're going to top the Knicks. They'll be the Mets of the NBA. I completely understand that, but I think what it's going to bring is, you know, Brooklyn used to support the Dodgers. They lost every single damn year to the Yankees in the World Series, except in 1955. So, you know, New York City, all these people win, lose, draw, they'll go and support in Brooklyn. They're bums.
But who are they going to be, though?
The net bums in the Barclays Center.
Who are they going to be? The Russians? Is it going to be the Russian community or what?
It depends on what they're going to do. It depends on what it's going to do. I mean, you look at where it is. It's going to be right by Atlantic Avenue, right by the train station. So you'll have a lot of people coming in from all over the place. I mean, you're saving the extra couple-minute ride into Manhattan. You know, you can easily get over to the Atlantic Avenue station from Jersey. So as long as you don't really live in that far, I mean, the way the MTA is built now, I mean, shit, you could take public transportation to MetLife. So, you know, moving the team to Brooklyn is probably smart. Petrikov is a smart guy. You know, it's going to be a brilliant area. It's going to gentrify the area of Brooklyn. And it could help the city, I'm telling you. If Dwight Howard could come there, or they can do something to pull off a big name, I'm not saying they're going to fail completely, but it might take a little while, but it could be good for the city of New York.
It just doesn't make sense to me, though, when he had the opportunity to put a team in a brand new arena in Newark, a team that would have its own identity, not have to struggle as much as it's going to now with the Knicks. It's going to be worse being in Brooklyn because you can fail in Jersey and people will kind of laugh at it and just write it off as saying, it's Jersey. But if this team doesn't go to Brooklyn and really do something fast, they are going to be crucified by the media, and the team's never going to succeed.
Well, Kev, remember when the Mets became the lovable losers when they first started out, okay? Remember, they lost 10 straight years, 100 games. So New York has a tendency to love lovable losers, especially when they first start out, especially in the boroughs of New York, man. Brooklyn is a funny identity. I'm telling you right now, man. It's a very interesting dynamic in what we're talking about here. Like I said, the guys in Brooklyn, when they were Met fans, True. When the Brooklyn Dodgers left and the Mets finally came in, they were them bums. And the Mets lost 110 games their first season.
120.
Worse since
we
the
got a break coming up. Can you hang out for a second?
Whatever it was. Yeah, I'll hang out for a second, brother.
All right, good. It's 39 past the hour. Canessa here with you on KCN 60. We're going to take the second of two breaks. When we come back, we'll finish up with Joel. Joel, of course, doing a show tonight at 9 o'clock here, Fan Forum. We will be right back. Do not go away as Joel moves about his living room. Be right back.
Yeah, I'm grabbing a drink. See, I'm just grabbing a drink. Oh, I can't. Now you can see my shorts. Sit down, Mr. Puppy. Here's a Mets blanket, Kev. Look at that. That's a Mets blanket, too. There you go, dog.
I'll have a Christmas.
Good dog.
Wow. I mean, there's a new commercial every day now here.
I know.
There is. What's the dog's name again? Mets?
Mickey.
Mickey. Wow. I'm surprised it's not a Mets name, like Piazza or something like that.
Yeah. Nah, he's black and white like Mickey from Disneyland. Yeah, there's a new commercial on Shovio all the time. It's awesome.
I know, it's great. JJ and Bertica.
Yo, here, you never saw this. This is all my other Mets stuff.
Okay, what do we got? It's hard to see it from far away, though.
All my other Mets stuff. Oh, here, I know. I'll get up there.
There we go.
It's a Carlos Beltran autograph thing, personally. A couple other things, but I'll flip it back. But, hey, back to what we were saying, though, which was a lot of different things. We were talking about the NBA making a comeback, and it's great to see it that way. But like I said, the love of the losers with the Mets, you never know what could happen there. I mean, come on. I mean, sometimes people still love the Jets. People still love the Mets. The Islanders, they still, they might not come out to the ballpark, but the sports fans in New York, live or die, you're going to be a Mets fan. You're going to complain about them. I'm going to complain about them. You're going to be a Devils fan, a Rangers fan. You're always going to complain, but you're always going to support them. Point blank, I think New York, win or lose, they still have fans. They might not show it in attendance, but in heart, I think a lot of true New York fans are great sports fans.
I don't want to cause a fight, and we can talk about this more on your program a little bit later on, but I'm very close to divorcing the Mets.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this. I really can't take this team anymore.
Oh, see, it's all right.
But Joel,
that's cool. But who would you adopt? Here, let me put this out there. No, you don't have to defend it, because I understand where you're coming from. And that stems out of, 27, 30 years of frustration, no doubt. But let me just throw it out there. Who in the hell would you support? Because if you go to the Yankees, Kev, I would be very, very disturbed. You could say, but who would you really adopt, though, if you really think about it?
I'll tell you two. I can tell you two teams it won't be. It won't be the Yankees, and it won't be the Phillies. More than likely, probably the Boston Red Sox.
I could live with that. That's fine because Bobby Valentine's over there right now, and I could live with that. But
and that's part.
You have to do what you have to do.
That's one of the reasons because I love Bobby V. I always have.
It's cool, and that's how Met fans feel. I know you have the mustache stuck in your head. I understand. It was the greatest incident ever as a manager. I completely understand where you're coming from with that.
That is true. That is true.
Don't get me wrong. It's just, it is what it is, Kev. I know because what makes me the best fan ever
What's that?
Because and why I quote myself is because I stick with my team, win, lose, or draw. I don't care.
It is true.
I'm going to be a Dolphin fan. I'm going to defend the Dolphins. I'm not going to, I'm not going to support what they do. If it's negative, I'll go out there and say it because I don't care who the hell's going to tell me what I said is, and he's not wrong. But, the only team I stay a homer with, and I stay a homer with, is the Mets. I always look at the positive. When it comes to the Mets, I'm a homer, and it is what it is, and I don't care. But, I try to give it on both sides of the fence, because there is good, there is bad, and that's what makes it different.
And we'll hear a lot more of this coming up at 9 o'clock.
NBA,
hockey,
crawling.
Baseball, you name it. You're going to find it on the Fan Forum tonight at 9 o'clock, right, Joel?
Yeah, you'll be on. You're going to,
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be on there at 9. I hope I have you on at 9:20. If you want to come on, we'll talk some other bullshit.
It's
I want
done.
to ask
As long as you don't fall
I got a
asleep,
couple
I'll be there,
questions
I
for you
promise.
I saw out there. Nah, hey, and you know what? You know what sucks? I'm finally getting adjusted to this goddamn overnight schedule. But, it's a tough thing. But I'm not going to make any excuses. So
I'm
I
only
gotta pay
busting
the
you.
bills, and I worked a lot of overtime, which is good.
That's great
No, it's
stuff.
cool, because people were busting my balls. I like when people bust my balls, because I get a chance to defend myself, because people need to know how hard I work to do this shit. It's not easy. I love to do it.
Yep.
And sometimes you fall asleep in a couch. Look at my couch. I mean, it's mad comfortable. It's nice, and I don't know if you could see it, but it's all right.
I'm getting dizzy.
I'll see you at 9:20.
All right,
man.
brother.
Go enjoy the rest. Hey, politics. Newt Gingrich didn't get onto a ticket somewhere. Talk about that. I'll see you
That's
later.
coming up. I'll see you in a bit, bro. That's my boy Joe McGurk, one of my favorite people on this planet, and he does a fantastic show weeknights here on DARPATV.com, most of the time 9 p.m. Eastern Time, but he does switch it up once in a while. I do hope you'll check it out, including tonight. We go from Port St. Lucie, Florida, to the Boogie Down Bronx. We won't see him, but we'll hear him. It's Jim Graham. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Jimmy. Good evening, Mr. Knessa. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can hear myself even louder.
Oh, really?
Yes, it sounds like you don't have any earphones plugged in.
I do not have any headphones plugged in.
That's not going to work.
But I should be. Not going to work?
No, because I can hear myself reverberating back. You don't have earphones?
Could look for them. Give me 2 seconds.
Take your time. Take your time. We've only been doing this for 2 years and 3 months, and Jim knows that you need to have earphones to get on the air here. But then again, it is Christmas time, so I'm going to go easy. Now, we're going to talk to Jim a little bit about Lynn Samuels, who was a woman who did a talk show in New York City on WABC for many, many years. And as we wait for him to come on the air, here is some prank calls that were made to Lynn, just so you get a sense of how interesting she was. She's a very unique character.
Okay, Bob in California.
Hi, Lynn. Before I get to my flu shot comment, I have to put my dogs outside when I put you on because you make them bark. Your voice.
Oh, gee.
That's okay. Lynn?
Yes. I'm just trying to absorb that information.
That's okay. Hey, aren't you the founding member of SPI?
What's SPI?
You know what SPI is.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, Lynn. SPI, Think Pink Ink.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Quit squealing at me, Lynn. God, your voice just... you run the dogs off around town. Can we get to my...
All right, you're the one running this, You're like the idiot here, not me.
Let me run the show here, Lynn. I'm the professional, okay? Let's get back on track. Lynn?
I'm not saying anything. Will you just say what you have to say and finish so I can get rid of you because I don't like you?
Shut your mouth, Lynn. Just hang up, Lynn. Shut it up. Hang up on me. Come on. Lynn? Lynn? Lenny? Lynn?
What was his problem? See, he called up with the topic he knew I loved. Shortage of flu shots and What was that call about? What was that? Oh, God. Chris in Syracuse.
Hello?
What is this, like Nut Day? Yes, Chris, you're on.
Oh, okay. My first question is, what do you think about Dragon Force?
What is Dragon Force?
Oh, okay. I guess you don't like him. My other question...
I don't know what it is. Maybe I would like it if you would tell me what is it, a game or a TV show? What is it?
They're a speed metal band, and
I'm not into speed metal, I'm sorry.
Do you think it's okay...
At my age, I can't speed, I need slow metal.
Do you think it's okay for me to love again?
Do I think it's okay? It's always okay for anyone to love again.
I really don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to open up my heart.
Keep up this call. I'll come on. I'll open up your head.
Why?
I don't know, because I seem to be getting insane callers. You don't notice that?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I don't know. There's something going on. Howard told people to call me and drive me crazy.
I don't know if it was Howard.
Oh, who was it?
Is he going to get mad that you bring his name up like that?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. I don't know.
What is he, God? I'm not allowed to say Howard. Martha.
Well, say my name. Say Chris.
You know what I want to say to you?
What?
Why? What is going on? Were they this bizarre when you talked to them? No, they fooled Garrett, who is a mere child anyway. And then they get on with me and they're like maniacs. Oh, there's more. Steve in Sacramento, are you a psychotic?
Hello?
Yes, Steve.
How's the dungeon tonight?
What dungeon?
Your dungeon. Now, I have a question about the shooting.
Yes.
Now, when we open your meat curtains, the sunshine come out?
Who is telling these people to call me?
Can I touch it?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to, dear. I'm 65 years old. You know, get over it. You want to touch a 65-year-old pussy, you imbecile?
Lynn.
Well, she certainly got away with a lot more on a Sirius XM being able to use the word pussy, huh?
She sure did.
What was it about her that you liked, Jimmy?
You know, when people on Shovio / DARPA / whatever the hell we're calling it these days think of me, they immediately think of Leslie. And
Who?
in many ways, exactly. In many ways, she was a lot like Leslie. She held nothing back. She was probably my first serious talk host that I listened to regularly. I remember her from her earliest days on WABC. I remember, for those that don't know, WABC broadcast right above Madison Square Garden. They're right off 34th Street. And I remember one of her earliest broadcasts was and it's also a few blocks away from what's called the New Yorker Hotel, which is owned by the Moonies.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a late-night broadcast she did where it's like, oh, my God, it's 3 in the morning and the Moonies are out in the streets. I'm going crazy. She was just very unconventional.
Yeah.
You know, she gets labeled as a very liberal talk show host, and she definitely has many liberal points of view, but she never toed the party line. She would not, she was not afraid to criticize what she didn't like.
And she wasn't a big fan of the president either, right? I mean, she really came out against him.
She detests Obama, or did detest Obama until Christmas Eve. And she was also highly critical of Bill Clinton, which she loved him at first, and like many, she became disenchanted with him as time goes on. She really had her own little worldview. And the other thing I loved about her was you never knew what the hell she was going to talk about that day. She could go 3 days doing politics and then spend the 4th day talking about the lousy service she got in a diner in Queens that day and the crazy woman that took 4 hours to find their money online at the grocery store. She was a very unique voice.
One of my favorite Lynn Samuel moments came in June of 2000. As you may or may not recall, the Devils used to be on WABC radio.
Right.
And they would always preempt her show, and it would drive her fucking crazy when she would be preempted by hockey. So
I remember that vividly. She'd complain about drunken Ranger fans, too.
Right. So now here's what happens. The Devils win the Stanley Cup for the second time in June of 2000. And she comes on the air, and she did her entire 1 hour that she had left, because she got cut into from the post-game show, asking people, who's Stanley? It's all she said for the full hour. She wanted to know who Stanley was, what it was all about, and why he was so important. And I'll never forget that moment. I listened to it for the full hour.
This sounds familiar to me for some reason, but I can't say I do remember it, but it definitely sounds like something she would do.
How is it that she was able to get somebody like you, who has more moderate views, to buy into her, though? That's not an easy task.
No, actually, you know what? I found her very endearing. She's extremely likable. I mean, and if you think about it, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but she also spent part of her time at WABC as a call screener for Matt Drudge.
Yes.
You know that?
Yeah, I read that. I read that from the blog that you sent me. So yes, I did see that.
They were very close friends, and she was also before he became a parody of himself, she was also pretty friendly with Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. Yeah, she said something about. I saw a video where she said that she would pass Rush and Sean Hannity in the hallways, and it was always pleasant. They didn't have to talk about politics, right? I mean, you could talk about other things.
Well, I'm not so sure about how she felt about Mr. Hannity, because I remember her fans went bananas. One of her, I think it was her last round at ABC. She was let go twice from them, and then finally the third time was the one where she moved over to Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it was her last time around at ABC where she was doing overnight. And she was actually replaced by Hannity when he had just gotten to the station. Hannity took her spot overnight, and she was not a happy camper about that one at all.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. So Sean Hannity did overnights on WABC?
Yeah, it was. I guess it was when he was initially hired by them.
Okay, so we're going back to the early 90s probably here for this one. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she did say, though, that she got along with Rush and that they talked, as long as they didn't talk about politics, they could get along, which is very interesting because a lot of people forget that you can be friends with somebody who you don't agree with politically if you don't talk about politics.
Exactly.
Remarkable stuff. Remarkable stuff. She also made, I don't know if you heard this, she made some comments about Lori Cantillo, who is the former program director at WABC, and she called her an F and C word. Did you ever hear that?
No, I've never heard that one, but I know she called Nancy Pelosi the C word.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She was not afraid to call people words, even if they were from her so-called political party. That had to be part of the mystique that made her special, right?
You know, as I said, I wouldn't define her as liberal, or if anything, I think she was anti-establishment more than anything else.
Right. But she wasn't afraid to piss people off, and that turned a lot of people off. Well, let me ask you about her voice, too. You know, she did have that very New York voice, and I think that turned a lot of people off. But did it turn a lot of people onto her, too, that she was unabashed about who she was?
You mentioned earlier it was Brooklyn accent. It's not a Brooklyn accent, it's Queens. It's pure Fran Drescher if you listen to it.
Okay, but that wasn't the question I asked you. The question was, did people...
Do I think people... Yeah, probably. It's definitely... It's a unique characteristic about her, no doubt. Certainly one thing she's most known for.
Well, what would you remember most about her as we wrap things up on the death of Lynn Samuels?
I'd have to go with her annual Christmas sing-along.
Tell us about that.
Every year, she, being Jewish, of course, she typically works every Christmas Eve and every Christmas Day, usually. At least one of the two, if not both. And I guess it probably started in the 80s, or late 80s, early 90s. One year, for just to be different, she started playing Christmas music, and she would link up multiple callers, and they would all sing Christmas songs on the air. It was freaking hysterical.
Oh my God! Which of course makes it all the more ironic.
She also had an annual tradition, which I don't know if someone told her to stop doing it or whatever. Initially, she would read the story of the birth of Jesus on the air, and that kind of gave way later on into just reading the night before Christmas.
Wow, she really did do all that, huh? That is interesting. My goodness, and I guess it makes it.
Shows were the best.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was so ironic that she passed away on Christmas Eve. I was out Christmas Eve having some festive holiday beverages, and I happened to add Lionel to my Twitter account. Mm-hmm. And I was just looking at my Twitter account, and I saw the thing from Lionel that Lynn Samuels had died, and I was like, oh wow, how sad.
Yeah, only 69 years old, and they found her because she didn't show up to work apparently for her shift that morning.
Supposedly she had a show that was supposed to go on at 10. I think she was doing weekends. Unfortunately I lost my Sirius a while back, I occasionally listen to her on Sirius. And apparently they just moved her to weekends only a while back, and she was really bummed out about that, but she was doing it from her apartment. And she always said she'd die alone, too.
And she did. And reading about her, and I didn't know this, but she apparently had no survivors and was very private about her private life. Did you know that, or is this new news?
I did know that. I know she had a nephew. She used to mention her nephew a lot on the air.
She never married, though, right?
I think she lived... She mentioned vaguely more than once that she was with a guy for a long, long time who was a horrible drunk. That's the most she ever said about that. And that she actually went to not AA, but what's the one for family?
Al-Anon?
Yeah, Al-Anon. That's it. She went to a bunch of Al-Anon meetings to try to get into shape or something. And she used to talk vaguely something about when I was happy.
Wow.
When I was happy, and I think there was a man in her life at some point.
My goodness.
She was very... In fact, it's funny you mentioned because a friend of mine sold her sister a VCR at the Wiz, and also sold her a VCR like a couple of months apart, back in the 90s.
Wow. She was some character. She's one of a kind. I don't know if we'll ever have another like her again. And I can't thank you enough for spending a couple minutes with us here to just reminisce about Lynn and all the things she brought to the table.
She was quite the iconoclast. I don't. In fact, it's funny. She's often labeled as being liberal, but she was actually on Sirius Left, and they moved her to the Sirius Stars channel, whatever, and that kind of pissed her off, too. Apparently, Sirius got a bunch of complaints that she wasn't liberal enough.
Wow, I find that.
She was criticizing Obama.
Well, that's the thing. Most liberals are. I'm one of them. So I guess that's kind of the way it is now. So she was just a victim of the times. Jeez. Wow. Jimmy, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Good to talk to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Maybe next time we'll shove the proper way.
Yeah, to get that camera working, we'll have to fix it somehow.
I don't know what's up with that. Later.
Later, brother. That's Jimmy Graham. He, of course, to you is known as Mattress Man, and it was enjoyable to have him here with us on this edition of KC in 60. Unfortunately, didn't have enough time to get into all the stories that I wanted to get into today, including Newt Gingrich being left off the ballot in the state of Virginia, along with Rick Perry, the dumbest politician to ever roam this earth. But we'll save that for another day. There are a couple other things I wanted to get to, too, including the Air Jordan violence. I'm sure you heard about this, these sneakers that just got released, and how it was ridiculous, but for some reason or another people were fighting over these new sneakers. But it is what it is. The time went very fast. It's 1 minute past 8. That's going to do it for this edition of KC in 60. I want to thank, of course, Joel the Mouth for shoving in. Thank all the regulars who joined us tonight, especially thank you to our buddy Timmy Gillette, who popped in, and also Matt Rodeman from the great Rodeman family. Hope you enjoyed the Chinese food yesterday, Matthew, and hope all of our Jewish friends enjoyed your Chinese food and movies yesterday as you celebrated Christmas with Chinese food as you normally do. That's going to do it. We will be back again maybe tomorrow or maybe Friday. I don't know. Check Facebook for time and details, but we'll definitely be back a week from today without question. So, from outside of downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Canessa signing off for now, and we will see you back here again next week. Good night, everybody.